Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Now, some of you might know that the most viewed videos on my channel are all Fortnite creative tutorials, and I feel like maybe I should make more of those if that's the case. So, as of this video, I have created a new playlist called Fortnite Creative Tutorials, and the 3 previous tutorials I have made will all be in that playlist. I might link the playlist in the description as well. So, what is today's tutorial? Today's tutorial is going to be a box fight. Now, not specifically a box fight, it's mostly the reset button of a box fight. Now, every good box fight has a reset button, and this is basically something that destroys all of your builds instantly within the arena, and it's just something that cleans up the arena. Every good box fight has one. But box fights are harder to make than you actually might think. So let's get started. Alright, so I just made this box fight room just so that we have a place to demonstrate the whole area we have to build. So first thing we're going to need is a button, obviously, because you're going to need something to have as a reset. So I'm just going to make this button slightly larger. I'm just going to be placing it on the wall right here, like this, just so we can interact with it. Now, I'm going to have this trigger on a certain channel, so our interaction text is obviously going to be reset builds, and this is going to be visible during game. We're going to give an interaction radius of 0.5, just so that we have a bit more room to interact with it if we run past it. Now, you can set an interaction radius of 2.5 meters if you want, have the interaction radius for the button be this freaking huge, but it doesn't need to be that big. We'll just keep it at 0.75 or something. Just, you know. And when interacted with, we're gonna transmit on channel 1. This can be any channel you want. Just, I'm using channel 1 because I have no other channels in this world being used right now. So, the way you're gonna want to set up explosives, basically, because the only thing that can actually destroy builds are explosive devices. So before we actually get into this, we're going to set up some preparation in the settings tab of our island. So if we go down to building can destroy environment, no, environment damage is off, structure damage is all, weapon destruction and everything else is completely fine. This means that while we cannot break objects like this wall in-game, I can right now because I'm in edit mode. However, in-game, this wall cannot be broken. Now then, into the explosive device. First, we're actually going to resize this just because it's easier. So let's resize it by all at first, and then we're going to resize the height by shrinking it down like this. That seems fine to me. Alright, so now the health is going to be indestructible. Display damage numbers will be off. The blast radius will be the biggest it can be. Player damage will be none. You can't have it do any damage to players. Ignore team for damage. There's no all option, so just set it to none. And then, I mean, that doesn't really matter anyway. Player damage is set to 0. Now, structure damage. You're going to want this to be the highest value it can be, so 5,000. Knockback is going to be none. And, all of this stuff you can leave on off. Play audio VFX will be off. Range visualization will be off. Visible during game will be off. Collision during games will be off as well. Collides with weapons only. You can, I mean, everything works too, but weapons only. Show health bar, no. Health bar style does not matter. Hide icon. I'm just doing this to make sure it's completely not visible in game, even if a bug got in the way. But most of this isn't required. And now, play audio is off. Now, explode when receiving from. We'll get back to this, but first, we need to make a lot of these. So I'm going to grab this, and we're going to put it into grid snap just so it's easier to place. So if I were to place this thing like this, we can place another, oh jeez, I can't see. We can place another on top of it like this, and then like this, and then like this, and like... This is how build resets are normally done. We're also going to need some triggers for this, so let's go and grab a few of those from the creative tab in the devices. Then near the bottom, there they are. So let's grab some triggers. So before we actually get into the triggers, there's something else I would like to set up, and this is how many builds we have remaining. Not a trigger, goddammit. So we're going to need a score manager. So this is basically irrelevant. Score value, score reward type is none. Score increment is -1. And none of this really matters. And the score value will be, I'm pretty sure you can set this to 10. And then transmit on score. Anyway, so increment when receiving from channel 1. So, as you can see, we have a score value of 10 right now. So whenever I press this button, this goes down by 1, and this just shows how many resets you have remaining. So basically, every time I press the button and the build will reset in the room, this will also go down by 1. So let's push it in slightly, actually. Just so that players don't always stand on it. We'll move it this way a bit. Alright, now, let's get back to this. So we're going to have 10 resets. So we have 4 explosive barrels here. So we're going to make 5. Oh, frick. 6. And then go 7. 8. Oh. And then you got 9. It's not perfect. 9. And 10. So that is basically your explosive area. You can make this bigger if you want. Making it bigger probably is more efficient. But this should be fine. And essentially, the formula for this is like the amount, like channels used is the amount of explosive barrels used plus 1. But like the way I would do it, so let's go on channel 2 up till channel 11 basically. So enabled on game start, yes. And so when like trigger when receiving from channel 1, right? And this is going to be transmit every X triggers on 1. So these always trigger from channel 1. And this is going to transmit on channel 2. This one's going to transmit on channel 3. And basically every time you're going to want to transmit every X triggers on, like, increase that by 1, basically. I'm going to get another trigger again. This is going to be the third explosive barrel. We're going to be on channel 4. Transmit every X triggers on 3. So this will start the like all the explosives going off. Every time you press the button, it should create a new reset. So we're going to go into here and make the resets. We're going to go back on channel 5 and transmit every X triggers on 4. Those are the 4 explosive barrels. So basically rinse and repeat, and like for every single explosive barrel. I will get back to you once I am done with this. Alright, I am done with the triggers. So as you can see, each one goes up a channel every single time. And they also go up by the amount of triggers required as well. So now we go to the explosive barrels. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. So if we go to channels, explode when receiving from channel 2. Then this one goes on channel 3. This one goes on channel 4. And then this one goes on channel 5. And you get the idea. Just work all your way up to the top with all the channels you're using. And I'll see you when that's done. Alright, the explosive barrels are done. Now, everything should be set up and ready to go. So what you're going to want to do now is, depending on how much range each explosive barrel has, you're going to want to be making another stack. So I'm going to put one in each of the corners. But just in case that isn't enough, I'm going to be adding a few more. It depends on how big your map is memory-wise, on how many of these things you have. But all the towers are going to work anyway because, like, they're all the same channels. So this is basically the explosive barrels and the resets. So now when we go in and start our little box fight, we're going to see what happens. As you can see, there are no explosive barrels and you can just see our button. So I can just build a little. We obviously have a roof right above me. So just like a regular box fight, most box fights anyway, you're going to have a roof. And just crank a little, do whatever you want, make some builds to just demonstrate. And then when we reach the builds, everything just destroys itself. The trigger noise works. I actually think I hit the score manager in game, which was a bit dumb of me. Alright, let's go sort that out. Alright, so as you just saw in my test, the score manager was hidden in game, which was a bit dumb of me to not realize. So we're going to be going into here again just to see the visible in-game thing as yes. And now that should fix it. So when we restart the game again, yes, the triggers are very loud. I know, I hate it too. So let's just build a bit, get some builds going, just so we have things to destroy. Yeet, 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 skeet, skeet, skeet. Just do whatever you want, I guess, when it comes to building. I mean, I have to build on my own because there's nobody else here, but like, you guys are going to be playing your box fight with others, most likely, so hey, this step will be a bit easier for you when you're testing. Alright, and now when we press this, that goes down by 1, and all of the builds in the map have been reset. Now, again, if you want to create more builds, then just make another trigger and another explosive barrel, and just repeat the process over and over. Every explosive barrel you make will be another trigger and another channel, so you can only have so many resets. Infinite resets aren't a thing. Not yet, anyway. But yeah, this is how you make a box fight with a reset button. If you want to set your own settings up, go do that in the game settings yourself. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.